demeanor. She has quite a time.
Well, honey, I'm going to get ready so that we can get to the airport and kind of look around and get acquainted with everything when the Getzes come. And we'll let them determine what we're going to do. So I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye. Well, we're back from the airport. We got there in plenty of time, took a bus out, and the Getzes didn't arrive. Their plane was delayed about an hour and 20 minutes. And it was nice to see them, and we had planned to, take them out to dinner, but because they got there about 20 after 5, till we'd have taken the bus to the Flamingo and waited 45 minutes for it like we usually do, and then eaten, and then dashed back. It had been such a mad rush that we decided instead that we'd stop at the coffee shop and let them have whatever they wanted. And I think they were both pretty tired, though they didn't really complain, but they had, I guess they were up from 5 in the morning, and of course, by the time they got here, it was probably about 1 o'clock when their plane left for the island of Kauai, because they left for the island of Kauai tonight. And anyhow, went to the coffee shop, and they have the best coconut cake, I think, in the whole wide world. It is delicious, real light and flaky, and then it has the coconut filling made from the coconut milk and coconut from, the real coconut, fresh coconut. It was delicious. So Dad and I had gone in before they came because the plane was late and we were getting hungry, and we had coffee, and Dad had apple pie and I had coconut cake, and I raved and raved so about the coconut cake that when the Getzes came then and we took them back in, Dad had coconut cake and they did too. And we chatted at the table and walked around a little bit, and then it was time for them to catch their Aloha plane for Kauai. So they were on the island of Kauai before we got back to Waikiki, because it was just a 27-minute flight for them. So I hope they get a good night's rest. They're to wake up at 8:30 or to be, at a meeting at 8:30, probably telling them what they were going to do the rest of the day tomorrow morning. So then we got on the bus, as I say, and when we got on the bus, there was a man and a woman from Minnesota got on the city bus and at the airport with all their luggage, and they were going to stay at the Ala Moana Hotel by the Ala Moana Shopping Center, and we talked to them a little bit, and then we were really pretty hungry, so we stopped at a hamburger place close to our apartment and had hamburger and french fries, and then I came home and ate some fresh pineapple and a pear. At the Punahou Fair yesterday, I bought a couple of pears. I thought they were as good a buy or better than at home. But when I cut them in half, they were kind of brown inside. But anyhow, that's what I ate. And that was our experience for this afternoon. And I'll talk to you some more tomorrow, which is Sunday. I think we'll go to church and hear this man lecture on the second coming of Christ to see what he has to say. So, talk to you later. Well, the professor that lectured didn't have too much to say, other than that, of course, nobody knows when Christ will come again. And I guess Lindsay predicts that he will be here about 1988, which is really sticking his neck out, because, as I say, only God knows when all this will happen. Now, today is Monday, and I'll tell you what we did the rest of Sunday. Well, we played cards with Schultz's and got a little sun, and then went to McDonald's and had hamburgers and walked around a little bit. And then this morning I worked at the church again addressing envelopes, and it was so funny. I was addressing them, and I ran across 4 people from Couts. Evidently a lot of the Couts people were here, and Dad knew some of them. Then Dad and the Schultzes came over to the church, and we took the Schultzes upstairs to show them the gorgeous view from the penthouse church. And then we walked over to the Ilikai, and we ate lunch up on the 30th floor, and what a view. You could see the mountains and the ocean. It was beautiful. And our dinner cost us $3.50, our lunch cost us $3.50 plus tip, of course.
So it's pretty expensive, but it was fun and it was something different. And we had ribs, some kind of, oh, I don't know what you call them, but they're the ends of rib steak, I guess, and mashed potatoes, and coffee, and salad. And as I say, the view was just out of this world. And we did have a lot to eat. I couldn't even eat all mine. I shared some of mine with Jean Schultz. And after we got through raving and raving about the view, we got on a bus and went uptown for the first time because Eleanor Getz had on her list the penthouse, what they call the penthouse of Liberty House, was supposed to be such a big bargain place. And so I thought, well, I'd like to see it before she comes. And so we went up there, but it was full of nothing but junk. There was nothing there. There were a few dresses that looked like they'd been hanging around for a couple of years. And so it as far as I'm concerned, it just is a big nothing. But we did get to see the mall, and it's nice, but it isn't as pretty as Grand Junction, but it is very nice. And so we kind of window shopped a little bit and came home. We just got home just a while ago. And I'm sitting on my bed and recording this. Now they're going to have a Valentine party here on the 14th, and everybody's going to contribute 50 cents each person, and they'll have cake and ice cream and music. I imagine it'll be the Fong family again. There's Mr. Fong, Leonard Fong, and his son Carlton Fong, and this Hawaiian boy, they call him Jimmy. He's a great, big, fat, nice Hawaiian boy. So the three of them really make beautiful music, and they sing together beautifully. So I thought what I would do is take this tape recorder downstairs and let you hear the music. It'll probably be on the other side of this tape because I'm going to try and fill this one side, if I can, before Valentine's Day. After a while, we're going to walk over to Farrell's, the International Market, and get one of their good sundaes because we didn't have any dessert today. How are my precious little darlings? I sure miss them, especially if I see a little kid go by. I just could swim across the ocean and grab your three and kiss them and love them to pieces. So I try not to think about them too much. I'm better off if I don't than when I do because I get homesick when I think about them. So give all of them a big kiss and hug for me and tell them I think about them every single day. And I hope you will soon send me the measurements across their shoulders and even the length if you haven't done it, so that I'll be sure to get those matching little shirts and a little dress for Heidi. It gets us, but I bet they won't have room because she said she's supposed to shop and get a moo for Annabelle and Fitzgerald and somebody else, and so I don't know where she'll put all that stuff. So I'll probably, maybe I'll mail Heidi's little gift to her, and if I don't, I'll just bring it home with me, depending. I think I better sing a song for the boys, so if they're awake now or around, I'll sing to them, okay? And let's see, maybe I can think of one to sing for Heidi. Here goes. This first one is for Heidi. Well, it's for all three of them. I love you, I love you, I love you. Three little darlings I do. I love you, I love you, I love you. Yes, 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 I do. That's an original version. Now here's one. Dee Dee, come out and play with me, and bring your puzzles three. Climb up my apple tree, look down my rain barrel, slide down my cellar door, and we'll be jolly friends forevermore. Lincoln, come out and play with me, and bring your motorcycles three. Climb up my apple tree, look down my rain barrel, slide down my cellar door, and we'll be jolly friends forevermore. Heidi, come out and play with me, and bring your dollies three. Climb up my apple tree, look down my rain barrel, slide down my cellar door, and we'll be jolly friends forevermore. I love you, Dee Dee. I love you, Lincoln. I love you, Heidi. I love you, Arlene and Devon, too. I was going to tell you about that smoke that we saw. That was started by two 14-year-old boys who went into a cave up in the hills and used matches to light their way out. And a brush fire started, and two houses were destroyed, and the damage was $80,000. But they're not going to do anything to the boys, I guess, because it was unintentional, and the wind was the strongest it's ever been that very afternoon, right at the time of the fire. So the boys are pretty lucky at that they aren't being fined or something isn't being done to them. But there were no lives lost. We watched the return of the POWs last night for a while, and of course everybody is so thankful that they finally got their freedom. This is Tuesday evening, and the phone just rang, and Dad answered it, and it was Sharon Okada. So then I went and talked to her, and we had a nice little chat, talked about 15 minutes, and she was so sweet. She said her husband, she said, is Mr. Eder a golfer? And so then I told her, about how he broke his arm, and she said, well, her husband, well, evidently he's pretty good, because she said he belongs to some clubs, and he plays a lot, and that he would take Dad golfing, so I thought that was sweet of her. And she said he goes to night classes every night, trying to finish up his college work. And I asked her about Audrey. I said I didn't mean to be nosy about it, but that I was interested. And so she said that when they were both on the mainland, that after about 6 months, Audrey would come home and tell her some strange things. And so she checked with the boss where Audrey worked, and I guess he too said she was telling some strange things. So anyhow, they had her at some doctors. Mrs. Okada went over to the mainland and was there about, I think she said, a couple of months. And the doctor said that even as a little girl, evidently she kept everything pent up inside her and would never express her feelings or thoughts. And now she's having big problems. So anyhow, I said, well, aren't they getting her? I said, they are supposed to have medication and certain chemicals that help people that have problems. And she said, well, Audrey has been on some medication that for 6 years now, and that it has helped her some, and she thought she was much better. But she has sort of a blank, not a blank stare, but a strange look in her eye, Audrey does. But anyhow, I do hope she gets along right. And Sharon said, well, she'd like to take me out to lunch. And I said, well, that certainly wasn't necessary, that I would like to take her. But I said not to worry about calling or anything. But I said sometime, if she had time in March, if she'd call, well, I would take her to lunch. So that's the thing, you hesitate to call people because they always feel obligated to do things for you. And that isn't my purpose in calling them. We had a nice day. We got up and we were going to walk along the beach, but it looked like rain, so instead we decided to go to a dress factory. You get a free bus ride there and back, and I thought it'd be kind of fun to see what kind of moo-moos they had. But it ended up that we went on another tour, a free tour of a place that Kenneth had taken us to. It's the Hawaiian International Center, I think it's called. It's a great, big, nice place with, I think, different stores having different compartments where they sell all kinds of souvenirs. So I bought myself some anthurium earrings. And then we went over to the Ala Moana Shopping Center, walked over from there because it's only about 2.5 blocks, and we ate at Patty's Kitchen, which is a Chinese restaurant, and I enjoy the food, but your father didn't. And the Schultzes enjoyed it, so we thought it was very good. And then we shopped around a little bit, just looked, and went back to this place where we went originally, and got a bus and came home. And then I fixed us a bite to eat, and now we're going over to Schultz's to play some poker. This will be the last night we'll play poker with them, because tomorrow night there will be the party here, Valentine party. And then Schultz's are going to leave, I think, Thursday morning, very early. As a matter of fact, I'm going to have them here for coffee and toast and probably buy papaya. They love papaya, so I'll fix papaya for their breakfast. So we won't be seeing them much more. But then Jeffries come in Saturday, and then the Getzes, and then after they're gone, then we'll have peace and quiet again. But we have enjoyed these Schultzes, but I think we'll have a good time, enjoyed even without them. So I'm going to try and finish this tape sometime before tomorrow night, so I can turn it over and let you enjoy the entertainment that we'll have here tomorrow night. Now, before we go to Schultz's, I'll tell you that we got a thank you note from Jana, and I guess she is working now somewhere. She didn't say what she's doing, and she said maybe she'd get over on this island before we left. So, and then let's see, we got, who else did we hear from, Bill? Oh, we got a card from Uncle Howard from Kauai. And, he's a shrewd shopper, and he found out that maybe we could save $1 or so by a deal that he found out about on renting a car. But I think we should have, and your father does too, automatic shift, because the driving, some of the drivers here are pretty, sort of, I'd say, reckless. And I think we have to get a good car and one that we can manipulate, and since neither one